Welcome to the channel. My name is Matisse. Today we're going to finally finish off the Onslaught crossover. So we're going to do Uncanny X-Men 336 and Marvel Universe Onslaught. So without further ado, let's get into this. Now, before we start talking about the story itself, I do have to say that the art from Joe Mad in the X-Men issue is just fantastic. It really holds up. It is 90s as hell, but in a good way. Now, in the final chapter, we have art by Andy Kubert, who I really love as an artist, but in this case, we have a couple panels that feel really rushed. And at moments, those dips in quality sort of take me out of the story. So in the X-Men issue, we actually get a pretty big revelation, and we discover that Onslaught is a distinct entity and separate from Xavier. Because at the beginning of the story, you had the feeling that Onslaught was this hyper-evolved version of Xavier, but this was not the case. And he's actually imprisoned in the same place where Franklin Richards and X-Men are. So what happens is we have our first group of heroes that are going to go up against Onslaught. They're going to take their first crack at it. When Onslaught goes to confront them, he actually takes Xavier and uses him as a human shield. Also, in this moment of the story, we discover that the interior of Onslaught is this weird portal to the astral plane. It's sort of like this hole in reality, and this is going to be like a big part of the end of this crossover. So we get this first battle where we have this first wave of heroes going up against Onslaught. There's some pretty cool moments, especially when Cyclops really lets loose. They are actually able to crack Onslaught's armor. Thor swoops in to rescue Xavier. And what happens is Onslaught pretty much goes nuclear, blows everyone away. Then we jump into the Marvel Universe Onslaught issue where it seems that Onslaught has recaptured Xavier. Now, rereading this crossover in general, I had a lot of fun, but there's one little issue that bothers me with this story, and it's the motivations of Onslaught. He's sort of all over the place. And we reach the end of the story, and basically he's just an angry red and purple monster. So now all our heroes have joined forces. They start battling Onslaught. And Onslaught is just swatting heroes down like flies left and right. When we get this moment where during this time Hulk was smart, he was still in his Professor Hulk persona. Onslaught had messed with his mind during the story and made him one of his heralds. So Hulk really wanted to make Onslaught pay. So he goes directly to Jean Grey and tells her, look, take down all my mental blocks. Let the Savage Hulk free. And we get this awesome punch fest between Onslaught and the Hulk. And what happens is Hulk is able to land one so strong that he actually makes Onslaught explode. And what we discover is that Onslaught sort of has evolved to his next stage where he becomes this being of pure psionic energy. Now, through pure comic book logic, Reed Richards realizes that Onslaught needs a new vessel now. So basically, to stop Onslaught, he tells all the heroes to jump inside this mountain of Herbie Crackle. And obviously no one with an X gene can jump in because it might restart Onslaught again. Again, we're talking about comic book logic here. Nothing makes sense. So every non-mutant character jumps in trying to absorb what they can of Onslaught. But as I mentioned earlier, Onslaught was this weird psionic being that also had this connection with the astral plane. So everyone that's jumping in, they're being teleported to God knows where. So all of our heroes make the ultimate sacrifice to take down Onslaught. Even Reed and Sue, even though Franklin's alive, they are going to leave the poor kid an orphan during this whole time. So that's sort of messed up. So the heroes that were left behind, basically the mutant heroes and the non-mutant characters that were not part of this battle, think that the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and Thor are dead. Now, I forgot to mention that when Hulk was fighting Onslaught, he got split in two. Banner got separated from the Hulk. And what happens is that Bruce Banner gets absorbed into the Kirby Crackle. So he and all the other heroes that I mentioned previously are going to end up in the Heroes Reborn universe, while the main Marvel universe is going to have the brutish Savage Hulk romping around there. So basically, with the end of this crossover, we get the setup to the Heroes Reborn era of Marvel, which had some good moments and a lot of moments that made me cringe, which I have covered in other videos. So I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.